Hi, everybody! I hope you all had a really wonderful weekend. I've been trying to put my finger on what I want to make this video about. I've got a lot of different things on my mind. I made a video, this was last week. I really felt this pull to go to an angel with black wings, and I discovered what was quite an ancient consciousness, extremely ancient consciousness. And I was dumbfounded by its identity. It was cut off or exiled in a space, and its balance was perfectly a reflection of everything that is terrible in this universe. And it was perfectly a reflection of everything that was good in this universe. But the oddest part about this angel was that nobody has ever loved it before. It's always been sort of a reflection of everything it's ever known, but it's never been a reflection of anything it's never ever not known. I've not shared this video mainly because I didn't anticipate that the journey would take me to such a consciousness, and I'm not sure what people are ready for at times. Am I ready to introduce people to the reality that you can access consciousness in totally other universes, and they're as close to you as what is the inside of your heart? You simply close your eyes, you go into a meditation, you follow your heart's motivation to the space, to the consciousness, and you interact with other beings in the universe. You can interact with alien beings, you can interact with angels, you can interact with angels in other universes, you can interact with a totally different parallel Earth reality, you can interact with anything you want to interact with. You simply close your eyes, you follow your heart, and then you enter into the space of that consciousness. I know that this world is extremely afraid of what is out there on the spiritual level, or what could hurt them, what might exist, and people are afraid of expansion, you know? I've been in deep thought about this angel and about the reality that I haven't shared this video. And why am I not sharing it? Am I not sharing it because I feel people are not ready for this? Because I feel people will not understand? Because I feel people will think less of me because of what I understand? They cannot comprehend it. And they think they can't process wisdom that is so outside the box. Do you feel like you relate to that? We live in a world where people cannot process things that are outside the box. How far outside the box can you go? How far outside the box are you capable of going and to understand the true reality of an infinite universe? Are you able to feel inside your heart how beautiful reincarnation is? Or are you not ready to feel that yet because you're holding a grudge against your life and how painful or difficult it is to get through it? Now reincarnation sucks because it just so happens you have a lifetime of challenge. But you're forgetting all the lifetimes of generous gifts that you have experienced, the wisdom of plenty and the feeling of plenty and the feeling of enlightenment and knowing what it is like to be an alien being helping a race of human beings who are trying to evolve and ascend. You've been on both sides of a fence. Do you feel that that is your truth or your identity, that you know what it is like to be on both sides of a fence? Or do you feel like you only know what it is like to suffer? It's complicated because this angel has been stuck inside a space of exile for unfathomable time. This is very strange too because a lot of people feel like they don't have a reality of how expansive all the different experiences are that you can have. Imagine being in a universe and there's some force of chaos that is unstoppable. And it's so unstoppable that all things end up perishing in the entire universe, and the universe becomes filled with only one conscious reflection, and that's it. A reflection that has absorbed all creative life, and that is it. And one angel that now is cut off and in exile from all the other universes, all creative life force energies, is now trapped by his own choices to absorb all creative life? Do you feel that the infinite universe would create a single consciousness that would have that influential identity? If this universe can manifest consciousness of every single kind that you could fathom, then yes, this universe can. Every universe can. So, do I choose to love this angel and set this angel free? Does God choose to love you and set you free from your own exile when the time is right? When is the time right? When is divine timing actually happen? What manifested me to actually go into that angel's space? Something in my heart, something in my soul was asking me to please do a journey to the angels with the black wings. I just need you to do a journey to do this. So I did. I was quite surprised, and I wasn't able to say as much in that video as I wasn't quite I was a bit dumbfounded by it all. I was still perplexed by it all. That's why I went back to him at the end. I did a journey to learn all about him, but then when it was over, it was like it wasn't over for me. I needed to understand, why can you not leave this place? Why are you not an angel that we can work with? What have you done to be exiled? Joseph and I both have been in deep thought about this for several days, and he did a journey to this angel, which he also seems to recognize. Some part of his soul recognizes him. And Joseph was called to manifest a rebirth of the universe so this angel can be given a second chance. He created a video to talk about giving souls, why we need to help souls, and why souls deserve love and second chances. Why souls do not deserve to be exiled for all eternity, but are allowed an opportunity to grow differently. If we don't allow each other an opportunity to try again, then how will the soul ever change? What if the soul never changes? Is that a bad thing? These are deep questions. These are spiritual questions. These are questions that make up our reality. And a lot of us don't want to go there. A lot of us don't want to think about these things. We want to stick to really superficial, basic 1 + 1 = 2 versions of understanding about creation. When I die, I go straight to heaven. That's all I know. I have had a dumbfounding experience happen on Sunday where I discovered a lifetime where I felt the entire experience of having a normal day, and suddenly somebody comes into my life. They wrap their hands around my neck. I'm being choked and murdered for no explainable reason. There's no explainable reason why this is happening. I'm suddenly dying, and now I'm dead. I did not go to heaven after I died. I went to a space where all of my anger and my confusion and my hatred toward that soul resided. And I stayed in that space, a long ways away from the higher reflection of consciousness that I could have attained if I would have just chose acceptance in the state of death. I was so attached to being a human. That's what we all do. We're all used to just being human. We don't realize we're actually attached to our body until the moment that we're being murdered for no reason, and now we are more attached to that body than ever before. All we simply have to do is forgive and let it go, and now the soul can move on. The soul can truly ascend into heaven. What version of my soul is still trapped in that space? There's no version of my soul still trapped in that space, because I was able to let that part of myself go. There's lifetimes of unbelievable anger still brewing because of that death experience. And my soul stayed in a state of hatred and unforgiving energy for lifetimes because of that. Do I deserve a second chance, a third chance, a fourth chance to learn about unconditional love? My higher self told me that we are all in an experience of learning about freedom. You can talk about a soul contract being Well, you're going to have 2 kids and you're going to be married. You're going to learn about love with this soul. You're going to, all this basic 1 + 1 = 2 type of information. But when you just let that stuff go and you close your eyes and you start accessing the deep wealth of wisdom and awareness about why things are the way they are in your life, you're going to discover something more powerful than the 1 + 1 = 2 answers. I was dumbfounded to discover that my soul has been learning about freedom for millions of lifetimes. I mean, I saw what was a shattered mirror of all types of learning about what freedom is all about. In that lifetime where I was murdered, she told me that I was free from my body, so why wasn't I at peace to just be free to let go and to move on? It was that soul's learning about the choices of murder or not murder. It wasn't my learning, but it became my learning when I held on to anger and rage. It became my learning. I wanted to become imprisoned in the body so I could teach another soul a lesson, when I really just needed to be appreciative that it was my time to move on and to just choose to embrace the gift of freedom to leave the body. That was simply the lesson I was meant to learn. It was to learn about freedom. That was the lesson. I'm still learning about freedom. It's not just being a slave or not being a slave. It's not just being poor or being rich. It's freedom in ways you never thought freedom could even make sense in that situation. I'm starting to realize that we are all extremely attached to our bodies, and if any one of us were murdered today, we would be so lost and confused. It would be a learning about freedom, a learning about forgiveness, a learning about unconditional love, a learning about acceptance. Would you be able to accept if that experience happened to you? Would I be able to accept it if it were to happen to me again? And again and again and again and again. How many different ways have I experienced this challenge? They showed me what was a lifetime where I was a man it was a colder climate and I was wearing animal skins. I had the freedom to run and I had a spear that I was using and it was just so freeing. But in that same image, I saw a version of myself that was running in fear and terror. And in that same image, I saw a version of myself that was running away because I had been banished. I saw my soul having lived lifetimes where I was part of a community and I had the freedom to run and be happy. I saw the same version of me living in a community that was under war and I managed to escape and I was running in fear. I saw another version of me, the same community, the same body, the same experience, where I was removed from the tribe and told I can never come back for my own choices. And this was all to learn about freedom. The freedom to love, the freedom to be accepted, the freedom to be banished, and how imprisoning it can feel inside yourself when you don't have a home. The freedom to be free from a community experience so you can get to know yourself in other ways. You see how many different ways we can learn about freedom, and it's all about the emotions, it's all about the thoughts and the feelings, it's all about the physical body. The freedom to have legs and arms that work, the freedom to have eyes that see, the freedom to learn how to live without eyes that see, the freedom to learn how to live without arms or legs, the freedom to breathe air, the freedom to so many things. It shocked me, the types of messages that I've been discovering about creation, about soul identities, about consciousness, about love, about the bigger picture of it all. What is your soul contract all about? How basic you want to go with it, but how deep do you want to go with it? I'm a real advocate for getting people to start accessing something deeper and wiser than the surface level information. because it is a massive, infinitely designed universe where time is an illusion. These parts of me that have endured brutal war, that have been angry about a death that happened a long time ago, I still don't, even right now, I don't feel, how did that, that root just came out. I can't believe that has been a part of my soul journey in a way that I still feel connected to it, although I don't now. I feel that is released into the light. But you can see there's so much about our soul journey. It takes time to discover these things. It takes time to understand that all along I've been on an entire soul journey based on a single event. Is that a soul contract that takes up one moment of time, one lifetime, or is that a soul contract that now becomes thousands of lifetimes? What happens when the soul doesn't go to heaven because it can't let go? It manifests thousands of lifetimes of learning about letting go from all different perspectives of what that can mean. Is that a terrible thing? Or is that a blessing? This angel that I made the video about, he shared a message about the good and the bad being intermixed in one identity. They were always the same. They were always together, like male and female. Good and bad have always been one. Is a war a bad thing, or is it a good thing because of the learning that war provides? Is his exile a bad thing, or is it a good thing for him in order for his soul to grow? It was very easy to talk to him. It was very peaceful, but I knew there was more to this story. What would you think if you came across an angel of this kind? Would you be afraid? Would you feel this is an opportunity to learn and grow through wisdom? Would you set the angel free without a second thought? What would you do? So that's all I'm going to share for this video. These are just some of the deep things I've been thinking about creation, about soul contracts, about lifetimes that manifest into this now reality. We all are carrying burdens that we need to let go of. We need to let go of them. We need to forgive. We need to start learning about unconditional love. We need to start realizing that we are blossoming into a reality where it's time to just rejoice and be at peace with everything, to feel the freshness of a new spring, to embrace the love that is here and surrounding us. Don't go back in time and stay in the anger and the rage and the hurt, because some part of you is still angry and still hurt about stuff. It feels like it's the people in your life today, but it goes much deeper than that. The sorrow, the sadness is all a conglomeration of your soul's journey. It's time to let this stuff go. I'm working on letting go of stuff constantly. I'll be working on letting go of stuff for the rest of my life. That's how we heal. That's how we grow. That's how we learn. We learn by saying it is time now, over and over and over and over again. We learn by saying I am ready for a new doorway. I'm ready to expand. I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to see more. We learn in these ways. We grow in these ways, become wise in these ways. Or we continue to sit down and just attach ourselves to the perception that 1 + 1 is 2, and that's the only thing that is real. We can only rely on what we actually know to be the truth, and it's got to be logical. It's got to be soul contract is I'm going to just have 2 kids, and I'm going to meet this soul, and I'm going to have these parents. That is so superficial. That is so simple-minded. How does one soul contract expand over thousands of lifetimes of learning? How does that happen? The soul feels ready or not ready for the thousands of moments that happen in a single week here on earth, and then a month, and then a year, and then 50 years. Do you see why we have so much reason to be proud of ourselves? Our souls are that strong to handle this world. Don't feel burdened by it. Grow from it. Become stronger. There's one more thing I want to tell you. I had an experience. I was woken up in the middle of the night by a peculiar energy that was really lighthearted. And it showed me a picture of a flower that was growing in the dark, and it was laughing. It was a male sort of laughable type of happy energy, but just like really in awe or really in shock, really surprised by me. And he wanted to know, he wanted to know exactly, how did you grow in the dark? I mean, he was just standing there in awe. He had to come to me to ask me, how did you manage to grow in the dark? He says, how will you manage to help other people learn how to grow in the dark as you have? I told him, it takes trust, and it takes patience, it takes forgiveness, it takes love, it takes laughter. It takes knowing the only thing that is real is love. Each and every time it seems to be a different way, that is the illusion drawing me in the wrong direction. And you have to constantly follow your heart. And through following your heart, you are always in the light, and you are always accessing your higher self. You are always in a state of balance. No matter how many times you trip and fall, no matter how hard this life suffocates you, you access your heart and you are surrounded by the shroud of light that is helping you through everything. Love the fact that it is far more interesting than 1 + 1 = 2. Love the fact that there are extraordinary souls that are ancient and wise and discovering their own hardcore learning in totally other universes. Love the fact that you have access to the greatest beauty and the foulest stenches, because they're all a part of us. We are all a reflection of God. I started to realize that, am I speaking to God or am I speaking to my higher self? Is my higher self God? Is your higher self God? Is it all our higher selves that now become God? And in that way, I'm always speaking with that angel exiled in that universe, is always a part of God's heart. That soul that murdered me, also a part of God's heart. The part of me that didn't go to heaven because of the rage and anger and my inability to forgive what I could not freaking understand in the 30 seconds I had left of life and just some shocking moment, also a part of God's heart. All our soul fragment pieces are part of God's heart too. We are all a part of God. We are all a part of the love. And be thankful that it is far more exciting, more interesting, more accessible to the love of all than you could ever imagine it to be. And it's all inside your heart. It's you. So that's all I'm going to share for this video. I'll let you try to translate that riddle. I swear to God, 1 + 1 = 2 is not the answer. All right, I want to thank you for watching. I'm going to put a link to my friend Joseph Bradley, the video he did on why it is so important to help souls. It's a really incredible message. It's really deep. It's serious. It talks about his experience with Archangel Lucifer. It also talks about his experience with this angel that I had discovered. After making this video, I think I'm going to open my heart and allow that video to be shared so you too can go on the journey with me and to see what is out there in the universe. It doesn't have to be your cup of tea. It's just for awareness. It's just food for thought. It's just to give you something to think about, right? So, that being said, I am a professional psychic, and I do energy work for people and share wisdom to help people in their lives. If you're interested in connecting with me, please visit me at my website at abbynormalswisdomquest.com. Thank you for watching, and I wish you a wonderful day.